Welcome to Tirano, Italy, a town of 10,000 at the border of Switzerland and Italy. I'm on a 10-day European trip with my family. A one-day stop in this town was at the request of my father, who was here several years ago. He claims that the pizza is worth the long train ride, so come along with me and let's see if he's right. We start our train ride at 7 a.m. in Zurich, Switzerland, before getting off an hour later in Kur, Switzerland, to take the Bernina Express to Tirano. A valid ticket and reservation is required on the Bernina Express. You'll need to purchase both. A return trip can only be purchased if traveling back the same day, but since we're staying overnight, we have to purchase 2 one-way tickets. I recommend buying breakfast ahead of time when taking the morning train. It's a 4-hour train ride, so I had to make myself comfortable. The scenery was another reason why my father wanted to do this train ride. The last time he rode this train was in the spring, so he wanted to see snow on the Alps.
Stolz ist ein einmaliges bahnhistorisches Ensemble.
Service on the train is limited. There's no dining car, but they serve snacks and drinks with card cash payments. Lindt chocolates are provided free in a souvenir tin. A 15-minute stop at Alps gave everyone the opportunity to stretch their legs and take some photos in the snow. Everyone quickly took their photos and headed back inside the train. Not sure if it was because of the cold or they were afraid of being left behind. Most of the passengers were in their seats with 9 minutes to spare. Maybe it was a combination of both? The terrain eventually changes from snowy mountains and ski resorts, transforming to picturesque towns tucked into green valleys. In order to make the trip up and down the mountains, the train moves on a track formed into a circular spiral. Sections of this railway are listed as UNESCO World Heritage Sites, including the stop in Tirano, Italy, so it's definitely a popular train ride. I check into my hotel, which is just a few steps away. Yes, it is by a train station, but I mean, look at these mountains. I mean, that's just crazy. It's time to meet my family for lunch. Can you guess what we're having? Pizza, of course. And my father was right. The pizza was amazing. The crust was thin and crispy. Each bite had the perfect balance of cheese, veggies, and meat. My mother and I shared a tiramisu for dessert, and it wasn't too sweet, but it didn't have as much ladyfingers that we were used to seeing. After grabbing a walking guide map from the hotel reception area, my family and I hit the main road and head to the #1 tourist spot in town. I like this type of look. It's like in a Hallmark movie. Yeah. Santuario della Madonna di Tirano, a small Catholic church. Legend says that the Virgin Mary appeared to a resident of the town in 1504 and said if the town built a church, then pestilence would end. Construction began in 1505 and pestilence no longer ravaged the town. So of course we bought souvenirs for family back home. Took some photos. You can see my aunt and my mom back there. My family ended up buying some fruit from a local shop, and since they were still full from our late lunch, I went to dinner solo. Capricciosa pizza and acqua frizzante. Thank you so much. So it is the morning I'm supposed to check out, but I'm gonna try and see if I can do a little sightseeing before I leave. So I won't go into too much detail about the historical sites, just some highlights. For example, this is where your local government building is. It's interesting to see how much some of the old architecture merges with the modern architecture. It's kind of like walking back in time, seeing some of these old structures. So the city walls of Tirano are no longer intact, but Porta Milanese is one of the city's original 3 gates. So what's interesting about this tower is that it's supposed to represent a tower of the Middle Ages, but it wasn't actually built during that time. More like in the 1700s. Two 16th century buildings and a medieval tower form this historic area. Located inside was the apartment of the Archbishop, who lived there from 1883 to 1916. The palazzo usually hosts concerts and shows, but the building is temporarily closed at the time I filmed this video. Unfortunately, this palace was closed, but for my research, it has one of only 2 Italian-style gardens in the area, which is pretty impressive considering you're at the foot of the Alps and the weather can be pretty chilly. This is the third of the original city gates, and look how it's easily merged with the other buildings. Two+ hours of walking passes by quickly. Time to head back to my hotel to check out, grab lunch, and then onward to the train station to make the return trip to Zurich. But not before grabbing a very memorable souvenir. So I really enjoyed Tirano. It was truly the gem of the trip, and I would gladly go back. And I give myself a little more time to explore the palazzos, the museum. There are actually some vineyards there as well. So it's one of those where I felt that one day was not enough. I would probably spend maybe a full 2 days, maybe 3, depending on when I'd be able to get into some of those historical sites, but definitely more than 1 day for sure. So what do you guys think? Would you visit Tirano? Let me know in the comments, and I will see you in my next video.